Hi, I'm Anne Grayson and I'm one of the field application specialists at ProLab Diagnostics in the UK. For the past 2 years, I've been working very closely with the NEO sample management system, and I want to give you a bit of an overview about the key features and benefits, and also show you how user-friendly the software is and how customizable it is to each laboratory.
So to go into a little bit more detail about the NEO itself and the features and benefits that I mentioned, currently in laboratories, some people are still doing manual aliquoting, and obviously this has its own challenges. This can be very time consuming, costly in staff time, potential human error, traceability, transcription error where people are writing the barcodes down, potential to run out of freezer space because they're being aliquoted into quite large tubes. Sample integrity, there's currently not many laboratories have a way to record how many times that a sample has been in and out of a freezer. And obviously this can have an issue with RNA and DNA degradation. The retrieval of samples is sometimes quite tricky. So with the NEO, this is all automated for you to make your life easier. The NEO Sample Manager will track all the samples from the moment they arrive in the laboratory to when they expire in 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, however long you keep your samples for. This manages the full life cycle, and it ensures that no samples are thrown too early before they've had any further testing. The freezer stage is also fully monitored, so you know how many times it's been in and out of the freezer, you know how much sample has been stored, so there's no need to go to find a sample in a freezer 3, 4 rooms away if it isn't an adequate sample to do any further testing on. Some of the key features of the NEO, they all have disposable tips there's no contamination issues. It's all positively identified, so it's all barcode led. So the samples that go onto the machine are all the barcodes are all red, and these are then allocated to their own unique barcode in their own unique barcoded plate. It's got 4 different plate compatibilities depending on what the laboratory needs. There's a 48 well plate or a 96 well plate, and these all come in either a 500 microliter or 1 ml format. There's full plate scanning, so you know exactly what is going on the machine at any one time. You know how many tips are on there, you know how many tubes, and you know you've got the correct amount of plates for the correct amount of samples that are on there. It will do a double level detection, so this will look for any blood clots, and it will go in twice to just make sure that that's not a bubble that it is first come into contact with. It comes with 14 custom designed racks, so you can fill the whole NEO with 14 racks with 14 tubes in it. It has intelligent fluid distribution, so it can be set to aliquot 1 ml for you. However, if there isn't enough sample, the NEO will then, we set a guide level of what your minimal acceptable level is, and we can take that. There's also a security curtain to make sure that no samples are tampered with once the NEO has done its scan, so you know that it's been fully traceable from the minute the samples have gone onto the machine to when they are aliquoted at the end. This is a work table overview, so you can see where your tips are, where all your blood samples are, and where your near plates are. It's all colour coordinated, so if there is any errors or barcodes that it's not liked, you will know straight away before any time is wasted. The NEO plates are all manufactured in a clean room, and they're all RNAs and DNAs free, so they do not have any issue with any further testing. There's a monoblock design, so you do not have to defrost the whole 96 samples in one go. You just simply remove the 1 or 2 wells that you require. It's all data matrix barcodes, so it's full traceability the whole way through, and they take up 10 times less space compared to other tubes in your freezer. Thank you for listening, and I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about the software and the customizability of the NEO. I just want to give you a brief overview of the NEO work table. This is the main screen that you will see on the NEO, and it has the tips on the left hand side, and as you can see there's already some tips been used, so the NEO remembers where the last tip was. There's the rows 1 to 14 where you can place your blood tubes, and these can be allocated to certain different blood tube types if you have different in your laboratory. On the right hand side there's 4 places for the NEO plates to fit, So this can fit with your workflow depending on what Neo plates you choose to go for. On the left hand side is all the configuration tabs where we set the freezer for you, and we set your profiles depending on how much sample volume you want and how many days you want to store your sample for. Further down you will see that there's the option for the samples. This is when you want to retrieve your samples, and this can all be basic search function if you have to go back to a blood for any reason, and then the full way through from taking a sample out to when you expire the full plate at the end of its cycle. For any more information, if you want to get in touch with us via our booth, and we'll be happy to answer any questions or show you in anything in a bit more detail. Thank you.